welcome to this episode of Let's Talk 716 Sports. My special guest is Justus Radford, and we will be talking Buffalo Bills football. Who do you think the Bills draft at number 25?
Ooh, that's a good question. Who do I think the Bills will draft at 25? I think that it really depends on who's the best player available left. One of the setbacks to being a good football team is typically when the draft comes around, you aren't one of the first people to pick a player. So it's kind of hard to say who your team might be getting. Because usually if a bad team is bad and they have to pick really high, that means they have like an obvious weakness, on their roster. So they can project to get a player that would, fill that weakness, right? But with the Buffalo Bills, we have a really good team, and we also did really well last year, and we picked later in the draft. So there's going to be a lot of really good players that are gone off the board before we get a chance to pick, and it's an infinite amount of possibilities as to how the draft picks could go. So we don't really know who will be available on the board. So with that in mind, I think I would say that the Bills are probably just going to pick whoever is the best player available, unless it's at a position where we don't really need that player. Like I thought, I wanted to draft a defensive lineman really, really badly. Jordan Davis was somebody who I really liked. But after the offseason, we signed so many people, we don't really need a guy like that anymore. We kind of need a cornerback now. We need probably, I would say, another skill playmaker, like offense, wide receiver, that type of thing. But other than that, I don't think we need anything. So if you ask me who I hope the Bills draft, I do hope they go get a wide receiver, because I think giving Josh Allen another weapon to use, I think that just makes our team that much better,
What is the position of need for the Bills?
Yeah, so position of need for the Bills is probably going to be, your cornerback. Obviously, with Tre'Davious White, he's injured. He's going to be gone for a chunk of the season. So we'll see when he comes back and is healthy to go. And, I think they have a lot of faith in Dane Jackson, and I know they have a lot of faith in Teron Johnson, but there's really a spot that's going to be vacant for the first, half or chunk of the season while Tre'Davious White is out. So that's going to be something that, we need to be aware of, that, hey, we got to get some cornerback depth here. We got to get another player that can play the position and be a contributing factor for our football team and our defense, right? Another position of need, I think, would be some offensive line help, depth at the offensive line position. We have what we we think are our starters. And of course, the best man will win. So if a guy doesn't, do well in training camp, and he can lose his job to a guy who comes in and plays better. But I think we need guys who can help keep guys fresh, or if guys, go down or get injured or anything like that, knock on wood, then we have guys who can step up and do a pretty good job and still keep Josh Allen protected, while we wait for the guy to recover, who's the starter, or whatever the case may be with that. And lastly, I think the position of need, I think a lot of people disagree with this, but for my money, in my opinion, I think we need a playmaker, a wide receiver, a running back, something, I know a lot of people is not really don't like to draft running backs in the first round. And I'm not necessarily hot on it. Like, I don't need a running back in the first round or anything like that. But I do think we need another skill player, another guy who can really do damage with the ball in his hands. That's not Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
What was your opinion on extending Stefan Diggs?
Oh man, I was really happy. I was really happy. Um, Stephon Diggs is probably the best wide receiver we've had in Buffalo, maybe ever, maybe ever. He's broken all the records, and obviously, him and Josh Allen are very good together. And we've seen players in Buffalo not be happy. So, to think that Stephon Diggs maybe wasn't happy was a little scary, was a little disappointing. But ultimately, seeing that he was able to, sign for a long time and sign, like they said, with the intention of having him retire as a Buffalo Bill, that's very special. Especially for those of us as Bills fans who are like younger than like 30 or whatever. We haven't really gotten the chance to see a really good team, before these last 2 years. So to know that we have a great team, and then we're going to keep our two great players for at least another 4 or 5 years, and probably more, obviously. It feels really, really good. I was really, really happy when I saw it.
Do you think the Bills will make any more moves this offseason?
Yeah, I do actually. I do. I think with the draft will pretty much tell us a lot of what we need to know in terms of what the Bills will do going forward for the rest of this offseason. But I think Brandon Beane wants to get another corner. Like I said, the Tre'Davious White's going to be out. I think he wants to sign another cornerback in free agency. There's a lot of talented corners in free agency, guys who probably thought that they were going to make more money in free agency and realize, okay, I'm not worth as much money as I thought I was. So I have to maybe play with a team at, lower than what my value is and play really, really well. And then next off season, I can go back into free agency and get paid what I deserve, right? And the Buffalo Bills are a really good team to do that with, because you get to play with an awesome organization, you get to compete for a championship, you get to there's a lot of things, you compete for a championship, play for a winning organization, you get to showcase your talent around a lot of other talented people, and there's no strings attached. You go to whatever team you want next year, after seeing if you can help us win the championship. And I think that might be what a lot of guys do, especially some corners, because that's what we need.
Do you have any questions for me at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Who's your favorite player, Robbie?
My favorite
Bills player.
Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs.
Stefan Diggs. So you got the Stefan Diggs jersey on. So were you happy when they signed Stefan Diggs?
Like when they extended him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy when they did that, because him and Josh Allen had a good connection with each other.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. I think they have a really great connection, and I think that they're going to be pretty good for a lot of years. Yeah. Who's your favorite Sabres player? I've always wanted to ask you.
Oh, Darlene.
Colin. Is he like your favorite ever?
My favorite ever Saber would have to be Hashtag or
Yeah.
or Danny Briere.
Hey, yeah, those are my guys. Those are the guys that were like playing for the Sabres when I was in school, and they were really good, and like everybody was excited about the Sabres and stuff. That's really cool. Yeah. So, but you never told me you stopped telling me, did the Sabres win last night?
They won 5-2.
5-2. Wow. Was it a good game?
I mean, it was physical at some points, but it was a good game, I think.
So, all right, I don't watch a lot of the Sabres, but every time I do watch it, people tell me like, oh, they're getting better and they should make the playoffs next season. So what do you think?
Well, I, they have a younger defensive group, so I think they're gonna do good next season, and hopefully during the NHL draft and stuff they can pick up some more good players and hopefully find a goalie.
Yeah. What about Owen Powers? Isn't he like starting with the Sabres or something like that? Who's Owen Powers? You got to explain this to me. I don't know.
Owen Power is a defenseman from Michigan, and he played his first game as a Sabre last night in Toronto, but then he'll play Thursday, which is tomorrow, against the St. Louis Blues.
Okay. All right. I have to watch that game tomorrow. So when it comes on, remind me, okay, Robbie, because I want to watch it. All right. So we can talk about it after, okay?
Yeah.
Did you have any more questions for me?
Where could my guests that listen to my show or watch my show find all your content?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You guys can follow me on social media, all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just type in Just Us General, Justus, General, and I'll probably pop up. And podcast and YouTube manager at the Buffalo Fan Base, the originators of hashtag Bills Mafia. And I have a show called Justice for All that comes on every Tuesday. So it's really cool. And I always love when Robbie gives me an invite because I love coming on his shows. It's pretty cool. And Robbie, you're a pretty cool guy too. So it's always fun to talk to you.
Yeah, it's fun talking Bills and Sabres with another fan of the sports.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning into Let's Talk Someone Six Sports. Thank you to my special guest, Justus Radford, and go Bills.
Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate you, man. And go Bills.